Welcome everyone to the King Ugly crew. This is Griffith. I'm going to be your narrator today.
Moderator.
Narrator. We got Lonnon and
Woohoo.
Sariaye on today.
Hey.
We're a small crowd because everyone's getting sick and
Got the
or
Ronas.
just doesn't care about us. AKA Skyla.
She texted me back. Skylar did text me back. She's like, I can't tonight. But Dane hasn't. Jason hasn't. Power hasn't.
Yeah, no one
Case
cares about us.
didn't.
Case
Yeah.
says he's got the after
Baron.
Rona.
Baron probably has
Baron definitely has
school or
Rona.
something.
So-
Yeah, he does. Baron got a positive Rona test.
So it is me. It's the three of us. We're a small crowd today. So that means it's
Just
probably
The three of us.
okay. Stop it. So we're going to be we're talking about things that have changed since we've gotten older. We're going to start this out with Lonnon, considering he came up with this, and I haven't really thought of anything yet.
I'll start off with like the main one for me. Back when, well, okay, and let me preface this. So like back when I was actually all the way up until I was like 25 or 26, I sped everywhere. I didn't care really what kind of mileage I got. But then again, when I was getting fuel for most of our vehicles, like I remember when I had to pay $40 to put $40 or 40 gallons of fuel into the Suburban. And I was so ticked off because it cost me so much money to put fuel in that thing. And now I just filled up my freaking truck the other day and it cost me $118 for 30 gallons. So
Good heavens, that is ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous. But anyway, so I've realized that extra 5, maybe 10 miles an hour doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. Like if I'm driving across country, yeah, I could see where, I could shave off a couple hours, but doesn't matter, And so, yeah, like I'll jump on the freeway and I'll just cruise at 70 miles an hour, and I don't care if semis are passing me or other people are getting stuck behind me. It's all right. I'm okay with it. But yeah, 20 years ago or 15 years ago even, yeah, I'd have been, no way you're passing me, dude.
I couldn't even drive 15 years ago.
Siri, how old are you?
Like 11.
28.
11.
28.
Jeez Louise, 15 years
My
ago she couldn't
goodness.
drive. That's hilarious.
A
youngin'.
Wow. All right. So I would go. I also
Wait,
go.
Griff,
Are you not
the gap between you and me is what, 9 years or 8 years? 8 years.
Are you talking?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
No, it just goes blank.
I can hear you.
Oh, so Griffith just is like muting me on purpose.
No,
Something.
Weird.
something wrong.
Is
Yeah,
it still doing it?
it always does it. I don't know if it's just my internet drops or what happens.
Weird. Anyway, I was saying that you're 8 years younger than I am, right? How much younger is Sari than you? 6?
I'm 32.
So 6.
4?
3.
4.
33. Sorry.
33. So 5.
So 5 years younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as big a gap as me and Griff, but still, I mean, like it's just kind of a pretty good gap ranges there of different things. So like things I've figured out probably since I've been older than Sari even is now.
Probably.
Yeah, because you're old.
I know.
You're
I'm ancient.
so
old.
old.
I should have been dead already.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you are old. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. All right, Griff, sorry about that. Go ahead.
It's fine. So I mean, I'll jump on the same thing. Speeding was kind of always my thing. Now I figured it out much quicker than Lonnon did, because really, I'll be honest, I've always kind of been more on that fuel mileage thing. But when I was younger, I mean, honestly, the thrill of the speed was half of the fun. So, and I was not.
Yeah, but you were also 20 when gas was just as high as it is right now.
Right, yeah. I mean, but I mean, it still didn't stop when I wanted to get with it. I mean, I did my Mercedes, I did 130 miles an hour, and my Prelude, I did 140 in. Ford Taurus HHO, I did 140 on. I've always been the one that it's not that I didn't speed to get to somewhere faster. I sped because I wanted to get, because of the fun of it. I was one that if I was doing any type of race, the speedometer didn't scare me. I was going to push it until I was well past what they were able to do, and most people chicken out because they're afraid of the speed.
Yeah.
That is me, for sure.
Sari's definitely not a speed demon.
Right.
See, I feel like I have a lead foot though, but I just like to go 10 over. But that could get me in trouble because I could get pulled over for that, and that would be terrifying. I would
You
not
just
be
need to
okay with
cry.
that.
You
I would
get over
cry.
it.
I literally would just cry. Be awful.
Yeah, but I never see like the 10 over. Even when I was just driving, like except for when we were going to Reno, that's my exception, and that was when I was 16.
Yeah.
I mean,
With
ultimately,
a permit.
with a permit. I always just drove the speed limit, or maybe I was driving a couple miles an hour over, because it really just didn't matter to me. Like I wasn't in a rush to places I was trying to go, and at the end of the day,
Griffith, are you pushing the button?
the speed.
Sarah, is it going out for you or just me?
No, it's going out for me too.
Told you.
Okay. Yeah.
So how do you want me to restart that, or?
Well, are you pushing the button?
Yeah, I haven't left my finger off of it.
Weird. No, just keep going, I guess.
And so I was always, I've always gone fast. I've always wanted to see the upper limit of most my cars up until really now. I just don't care, to be honest. None of my cars all of my
They don't
cars
have the potential.
I've pushed them to 100 miles an hour, but like that's about the extent of what I've done. All my cars before that, it was whatever I could. I was full top speed, but once I even went with my Golf, I've never really pushed it. I don't think I've really pushed it to the max of what it's capable of.
Yeah. I've taken Casey's car faster than he has.
Yeah, my exception to that is motorcycles. I still get on a motorcycle and I still push them pretty much to the max.
They're just fun. Just so much fun.
Yep. So
Wait.
well,
So Sari, you go to Sari, and then we'll go to a different one.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, well, I think you're both crazy because 100 miles an hour terrifies me. That is so scary.
Yeah,
Why?
but you also have terrible vision.
I have contacts to fix that.
Yeah. See, the 100 miles an hour is like a blink. Like the 100 miles an hour is so numb to me. If the speed limit was 100 miles an hour, it wouldn't really. Minus fuel mileage, it really wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, if I could get the same mileage at 100, I wouldn't care. Like, yeah, I'm the same way. But like, I get 3 miles to the gallon better if I do 70 versus 80. Yep, I'll do 70.
Okay, well, I think you're crazy. Okay, but anyway, one thing that has changed for me as I've gotten older is that, I'm like an extreme people pleaser. I really like to make sure that like everyone is happy around me, and that there's like
Happy?
not drama and not like we're not causing problems for anyone. And so like I used to be a pushover where, if my boss told me to do something, even if I didn't agree with it, I would pretty much go do it as long as it wasn't like compromising my morale or anything. Yeah. And so I feel like the older I've gotten, and now I have a really, really, really wonderful boss who allows me to kind of push that boundary a little bit where, if I don't agree with something that he asks me to do or, we don't necessarily see eye to eye on something, I stand my ground a little bit more on that. And that doesn't sound like a big deal for most people, but for me, like that's a big deal because I don't normally stand my ground. And so that's something that I've kind of come into just in the last few years where I've been able to like be like, no, this is what I want. This is what I know I want. This is why I want it. And then, we're able to have a good, frank conversation about why he wants it one way, I want it another. And then we come to a consensus about how we feel like it's going to work out the best. And so, for me, that's just been awesome. And my current boss has really helped me be able to do that. So,
good.
Yeah. Not as exciting as the speeding thing, but that's my thing.
That's still really good, though. It definitely is really good.
I'd agree with that. I wouldn't say I was a pushover, but I've definitely got to the point more of my life like you start to know enough about what you're talking about, and it's just like, nope, it doesn't work that way. I'm a little bit of a pushover because I like to watch it fail, because I can only say it so many times how I think it needs to be done, because I've watched it do it the other way, and no one listens, and so you get to watch fire. Yes,
Griff's all about the fire.
Griff likes the drama.
I don't actually like the drama, I'll be completely honest with you. But you know how you make it so people realize that you're right? Is you get to the very end when it completely blew up in their face and you go, remember how I told you about 6 months ago that this was not going to work and this is how we should do it? And they go, yeah, well, there's a reason I told you that, because I knew it was going to happen. I did that to Todd, actually, after I had done multiple times of trying to fix stuff. And he walked in about a month after I finally let the whole thing burn down. And I went, oh, so my plan worked. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, my plan worked. I told you, I knew this was going to happen. I intentionally put it all in place so that I could watch it fall down, so that you guys would understand that there was a falling through problem that no one cared about. And Tim goes, yeah, he told me about 6 months ago that we were going to do it. So I just I do it because it almost has to be done to get the point across.
For some people, I mean, and some people just don't see it. That's the problem. Is that, it's really hard to see when you haven't been there. So there's, I mean, and Todd hasn't been in a lot of those places. Well, in pretty much any of the places you've been in. So there's things that definitely you've seen that other people haven't. I think for me, I think I've started getting there more with Sariaye, the same type of deal. As in, I don't know that I've ever been a pushover. Probably because I worked with Dad so much. But at a certain point, it was just like, fine, we'll do it your way, and then and after you leave, then I'll do it my way. So it just gets done. Yep. And so
100%.
I think that's, to be honest with you, though, I think it's a bit of a detriment to me and Griffey both, because we're so willing just to get it done so that it's done instead of just complaining about it for lots of things. I mean, there's just a lot of things that, we'll just go do instead of going and figuring out, or we're not the squeaky wheels. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is that we don't complain about everything until we get our way. We just get the things done that need to be getting done. And so that's what I mean by a little bit that it's a detriment, because, well, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and when you've got plenty of those, then guess what? The people that aren't making all the noise, they're not getting what they need. And so it kind of sucks in some way. It's a detriment, but it also, I mean, it's good for companies because things just happen.
You don't want everyone to squeaky wheel.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be a squeaky wheel, but I also know that sometimes that, I talked to Dane about it, and it's like, sometimes maybe I just need to be that squeaky wheel. And I mean, like, the one time they thought about hiring you, it's because, like, I was finally that squeaky wheel. And I think that's one thing I've noticed about Todd recently, not that this is a bash on Todd session, is that I think he sees me still as that 16-year-old kid that used to just blow up at the drop of a hat. And I don't do that anymore. He does see me blow up, but what he doesn't see is all the underlying crap that's happened that finally it just sets me off. It's a really big explosion, but there's so many things leading up to that before it happens that, and he doesn't see that stuff. He just sees me as when I was younger, and I would have just blown up super fast. And so I think that's a bit of a detriment, because he doesn't see it, because he was, if he were a boss that I only had ever as a boss, he might see it because he never knew me before, right? So I think that's definitely something that's changed for me, is me not blowing up so fast. It takes me, there's a lot to really get me going most of the time. There's every now and then it's a few words that set me off, and like one of those is, it's not my job. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, is a word. Do not ever look at me and tell me it's not my job, because your job is whatever I tell you. It is
the hour and 20 minutes it took me to do someone else's job this afternoon.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to make sure that I talk to Todd as well as, because that was ridiculous.
But no, I mean, it wasn't my job at all.
Here's the difference, is that you're willing to do it, but they shouldn't leave it to you to do.
Right.
So that's the big thing.
I just went and did it. And that's something that, as I've gotten older as well, that's ultimately, I've been in enough managed positions, like, that's probably one of my most irritating thing. I'm more than willing to go do any job, and that was something, especially coming from Subaru, is that, parts and service directors don't leave their office to go wash cars, and I was one that I would walk out and wash a car just the same way as anyone else would if we needed it done. And I did that to kind of show, is like,
you can be a leader, not just a boss.
Right, I can be a leader, and that's where something that I did that to explain to them is that this is a job that can be done by anyone. And to be honest, I usually washed them faster and got them cleaner than they were capable of. And so I kind of put that leadership in there to
Capable
know
of, or that they did. Like, so that's the thing. It's like sometimes you getting up and showing them up, not like specifically, look, I did better than you, but just getting it done, and then they're like, oh wow, that's actually better than what I've done. Maybe I need to step up my game.
Right. So that's something that, as I've gotten older, I've gotten much, much better at. Is because when I was younger, I mean, there was a lot of things. It's like, oh, it's not my job,
Right.
and that's, I mean, all of us are a little bit different in that, because we had Dad, and Dad very much taught us that isn't the word you say, because if it's not your job, then for a few weeks it was going to become your job.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
I was gonna say, I feel like everything is my job, even if it's not my job. Like, especially if I'm like thinking about like the gym or even at home, like, I don't know, like everything is my job, even if it's not actually like my job. But I don't know. I also feel like I have a hard time giving up control sometimes. And so like for me, like making everything my job is my like way of controlling it all. I don't know if that's for you guys, but that's me.
No, I don't really have. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a problem giving up control if I know that the person that's coming to do it can do it. I think that's my hard thing. It's like looking at somebody and they're giving somebody control, and I'm just like, why? They can't. They won't be able to do it. What you're trying to have them do. So sometimes that gets me. But yeah. So let's see. Looks like Griff disconnected again. His internet must be going up and down. Sari, go ahead and do you have another one? Like another new something else that you've done since you've gotten older?
Well, I mean, I can go with a really obvious one. When I was younger, I competed in gymnastics. Now I coach it.
Right.
So,
I don't know if but that hasn't changed just because of age. That's changed also because you couldn't do it anymore. I mean, you still do. I mean, I guess I saw that video of you testing out your stuff for the new people.
I play.
Yeah.
Our airbag.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, no, I play. I just don't like compete gymnastics anymore. So now I like train other girls to compete like I did when I was younger. So now it's just like a different dynamic, but I don't know. That one's pretty obvious.
It was, but it was a dynamic that was going to happen, right? I mean, like, did you? Well, maybe not. I mean, you did go to school specifically to be a teacher, and then just didn't want to deal with the politics, right? So, I guess it wasn't necessarily a progression that you were looking forward to, but it just turned into that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was because I was just following in Tashi's footsteps, especially when I was younger and I started coaching, like while I was still competing. And then, yeah, once I made it all the way through school and got my degree and realized that I really didn't want to teach in a school, then coaching kind of became like, well, duh, do this. Because I didn't want to leave gymnastics.
Good thing that was almost a free one.
Yeah, I know. I told Lonnon that was my obvious one. But I'm trying to think of others. I don't know. I feel like for me, I've done a lot of work in like the last year or two with like
being a mom,
but I feel like I've made a lot of progress in like my communication, because like you, Lonnon, I feel like I used to just like shove things down, or maybe that's what you do now. Like I used to shove things down and like shove them down and shove them down and shove them down and shove them down. And then all of a sudden I would blow up and just like be so angry. And so I've had to work really, really hard at like, especially this is like things with Bryce, especially where it's just like little things, like we get irritated with our spouses. I feel like everyone does. And I would just like, shove the little thing, shove the little thing, shove the little thing. And then all of a sudden everything was a big thing. And so I've just tried like harder to just communicate in that moment that I'm feeling irritated, that I'm like, well, I'm irritated that you didn't do this. Or he'll be like, are you cranky with me? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm a little cranky that you are so focused on your phone today or something. And so like, those are things that we talk about now that I used to just like complain to other people about. And then I would blow up at him about them.
Right.
Because I wasn't solving the problem, because I was just like complaining. And so I worked really hard to try to communicate with him better. And that obviously has made a huge difference in our marriage. But it's also made me feel a lot better because I don't feel like I'm holding on to all of these things that I'm like annoyed about anymore. I like approach the problem and we solve the problem. And if it happens again, then it happens again. And we approach the problem and we solve the problem again.
No, that makes sense. Griff, you got another one? Oh, I forgot. You're moderating, not me.
That's fine because my computer's already crashed twice. So
Yeah, I think it's your internet probably.
no. Like it actually went down.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, it's another. I mean, for me, I think I'm trying to think what other things I've changed. Like kids really haven't changed me. To be honest, I've had kids almost as much as my life as I didn't.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy to think about.
I kind of think of that with you guys. Like same with me, except for that, you guys were my little kids until I had my own little kids.
No, didn't have that.
No, I know you didn't.
Didn't have that either.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's expected when you're the youngest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love being the youngest. Can I just throw that out there? Love it.
I'm sure you do.
No, I don't have anything else. I'm still trying to think of stuff. I'm sorry.
Drawing a blank. I don't know. I'm thinking that
Now you're cutting out too, Lonnon. Or you were?
Yeah. Is that better?
Yes.
I think for me, it's probably I don't know. Like, not to be mean, but like in high school, I cared what people thought, and now, I mean, I don't. I'm not that I'm trying to be mean, but it's not really my problem if you're offended by something. It's kind of funny that my sister-in-law, she's the one that said this saying, but I love it. It's like one of my favorite sayings. Is those looking to be offended are rarely disappointed. And so it's like, yeah, you know what? It's absolutely. I mean, not that I'm looking to say something that's going to offend somebody, but especially if I'm not, it's not like they can just be like, oh, well, he's just trying to offend everybody. No, I just don't really care unless it's something that excites me or it's something I need to be involved with. Did I break up that whole time?
No, you were good. All good the whole time. Why are you talking? I'm talking to Uncle Lonnon and Uncle Griffith.
So you don't have anything else, Griff?
No, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, the offended stuff, I used to care more, and then I started to realize is that most people have similar thought process. They just aren't willing to go actually talk about it.
Yeah.
And the ones that don't, to be honest, don't be in my friend circle because I really don't want to deal with you anyways.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, and those are the ones that usually aren't in my friend circle, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot regardless. I mean, ultimately, I would say other things. I mean, that I've definitely as I gotten older. I mean, managing money, I'd say is better. That's something as I think everyone gets better. They start to be able to do that a little bit easier. And
it would have been a lot easier if we'd have been taught any of it. Like, yeah, right. It definitely wasn't taught in schools. It definitely wasn't taught by Dad. I mean,
yeah, we did not have a great example of financial.
Mom spirited money away, but we didn't know about it. So like, yeah, it wasn't an obvious, financially good sound background.
If it was like, oh, we're having a good year, let's go out to eat every night and get everything we want. Oh, we're having a bad year. Okay, guess we're asking Bishop Storehouse for help.
Or looking for or selling the 4-wheelers, or selling the boat, or
buy jet skis. That was the saddest.
Feast and famine, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something that I've seen is, I mean, we kind of just figured out as we went, some differently than others. And so it, just having to do that. I don't know, like, I guess other stuff.
Yeah, you broke up again.
I think he crashed again. That's my guess.
Yeah, maybe. Stinking computer.
They're the worst.
maybe it's gonna be a short one tonight. Who knows? Because like I know that I'm the one that came up with it, but I can't think of a ton more. Oh, there's Griff again.
I can hear you the whole time.
Oh, funny. Yeah. No, it's like your button stops getting pressed. Is what it looks like.
And mine shows that it's pressing the whole time.
Interesting. Don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, and I've actually become, I'd say, more compassionate as I've gotten older, where kind of, sort of, I guess it's kind of a mix. I'm one that, for the people that are close to me, I'm really willing to go out of my way and make sure that I keep them close to me, where before I kind of try to keep everyone happy, like Sariaye was kind of talking about, but I've now gotten to the point where most people, like, if you really don't want to be around me, then don't be around me. Like, I'll come and help you as far as I can, but if you're not willing to give me the same respect back, then you're not really a good example in my life anyways.
Yeah, I don't need you in my life. I've got plenty of other family members and things like that that are willing to help. So yeah, I would agree with that. I'm just trying to think like I will say something that hasn't changed. Thought was going to, which I know this is a changed thing, and actually it did for a little bit, to be honest. So you guys know, and I've always had like a Citizen watch almost all the time, something titanium, and then I started switching over to like the Android Wear and everything like that, and then I went back to my titanium because you know what, it just works all the time, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to freaking charge it, and it's just like, you know what, I like that. So
yeah, I love my Apple Watch, but it is annoying that I have to charge it like every night.
And see, that's what it was for me. Is like it got to the point where I was just like, no, I'm not gonna freaking deal with it. Like, why would I subject myself to that type of irritation if it doesn't give me that much joy? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. I didn't feel like it would give me that much joy either. And then I had it, and it's just so convenient, like for coaching. Like that's my biggest thing is that like I can pull a stopwatch up so fast. And like my other big thing is that I can ping my phone because I lose my phone all of the time. All of the time. And so I can ping it and I can find it. So that's like my main two features on my Apple Watch.
I have zero problem on taking my watch off. I took my watch off every day anyways.
Yeah, not me. Not me.
Yeah, they bother me to sleep with.
Yeah, and they don't. I mean, like, for me, the only time this watch comes off is when I'm in the shower. That's it. Yep. And then it goes right back on. But I don't know. Like, I've always had... But that's the thing, is if it bothers you, I get it. But it's just like, now, I mean, I'm looking at it, and now Citizen has a new Bluetooth one that will give me some of those type of things. And it'll automatically set the time for me when I go to a different time zone. So there's like some cool things that would be really cool with one of the new ones. But gosh, there's so much money.
Yeah, they are a lot like to wear on your wrist. But I do think about that, like, because within like 2 weeks of having my Apple Watch, I smashed it. I was spotting some of the girls, and I totally smashed it into the bar, like between their body and the bar. And my watch has been completely like scratched up since I got it 2 weeks before. So
wow,
that's rough, but I like it.
A little rough.
I feel like that would be like one of my like material things is that like when I was younger, I definitely didn't wear a watch, and now I'm like super lost without mine. Like I forgot it at the gym today, and I went back to go get it because I just don't function without a watch. And like
that bad, huh?
If I don't charge my Apple Watch, I have another one on backup that I put on, like just like a standard normal watch that I put on.
Definitely not that bad. But I will tell you that without a watch, my timing, like my time's all over. Like I lose track of time really easily.
Yep.
I love my watch. I feel naked without the watch.
Well, if you saw my arms, you would know that I wear one all the time because I'm literally white where my watch is.
Same big old white spot underneath my watch.
I don't have the luxury of having that problem. No.
Go work then.
All right, so I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that
I have one more.
Oh, do you? Okay, go.
Yeah. So I feel like the older I've gotten, and I feel like it's been something I've been decent at pretty much my whole life, but the older I've gotten, the better I am at like seeing both sides to a situation. So I feel like I'm generally a pretty good moderator. Like even when someone disagrees with my point of view. And there are things that like I definitely stick to my point of view on, but like I can see others' point of view. And like obviously my newest one is, because I feel like it's everywhere, is like the COVID vaccine, right?
The best vaccine ever. I mean, still can get COVID. No side effects at all, according to the CDC.
Not for 5 years.
They just failed to mention, the 500,000 cases of vaccine. Oh, we're getting picked off. I probably should stop on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. You should stop. Anyway, so I think everyone has the right to choose what they want in that, but I can also understand why some people want to get it. So, and that one has been really hard for me because I, a few weeks ago was adamantly against anyone getting it. Like I thought it was really dumb for anyone to get it, and I still don't love the idea of it, but I can understand the idea of it, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. And I get that. And I get that I'm more open to, actually, I don't know. Yeah, the older I've got, the more I'm open to, letting people be them. Make your own decisions, right? Do I just necessarily agree with the vaccine or something like that? No, but that's not my choice for you to go get it. If you think that it's a good idea, look, I don't get the flu shot, so why would I get the COVID shot? But if you're a person that's like adamant about making sure you get the flu shot every year, great, get the COVID shot. Like that's totally that's your choice. Like I'm totally down for that. As in, it's your choice. It's when it's starting to be like, I guess Walmart execs are now being forced to get it. And that's wrong.
Well, we have hospitals here that are mandating it, or they're going to fire you. So
yeah, same with I've got a friend that's up in Idaho, and she is. They're saying basically the same thing to her, and she's like, I'm debating whether I'm just going to stop working. Like, she's like,
tell her not to quit. Tell her not to quit. According to Candace Owens, make them fire her.
Oh yeah. Actually, because then she can go after him for a lawsuit.
Yeah. We actually got fired by our pediatrician. Our pediatrician won't see our kids because we won't get vaccinated.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nope.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I mean, and that's their choice, just like it's my choice not to get it.
Probably was worth doing it.
I just feel like it's like about to make life real hard because I choose not to be part of an experiment. But anyway, the point of this was not to go on a COVID vaccine tangent. So, but just to like say that I understand both sides of it, and I have like grown to really understand both sides of a lot of situations that I don't necessarily agree with, especially things that like we're taught in the church and growing up with like alcohol and drinking. Like I kind of get why people have a drink or two, not that I choose that life or that I would want that, but I understand why people do it, or, being intimate before marriage, which are things that we talk about in the church. And so, I can see that side of it too, again, not something I chose for my life, but I can understand it. And so
I agree.
So it's just like the older I get, the more I think I'm able to see both sides of it, but I'm also able to like choose what side of it I'm on and like have my reasons for it, where it used to be just like, I'm gonna be a sheep and follow the crowd, and I'm gonna do what makes everybody happy. We're not gonna cause problems. But now the older I get, I like look at both sides. I'm able to do that, kind of differentiate, and then make my decision from there.
I think some of that is just getting older, just a little more wisdom, right? More you have more knowledge to go off of, and so it's a lot easier to start making some of those decisions, as in, you know what, I can see both sides of that, and I can see which side of that particular thing I want to take.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely comes with more wisdom, but I also think it's something that I've honed in on a lot, because I have kind of been able to do that most of my life, where like, just because I don't agree with someone doesn't mean I can't understand what their thought process is and what they're choosing. And so I've just tried to like, I don't know, I feel like for me, that's one of those like spiritual gifts that we talk about, where like, that's a spiritual gift for me, where like I'm able to discern or be able to see both sides of a situation really well, even though I have a stance on it, but I can see other people's stances on it, and I can understand that, and I can advocate for why they feel the way that they do, even though it's not something I necessarily agree with.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, ultimately, that's something as you get older, you learn that, the same way that you're immovable in a lot of the things you think is the same way other people think when it's the opposite. But, and that's kind of, I mean, really, I've just got the point where, okay, you don't believe what I believe, that's great. Then you, as long as you're not inflicting on my rights and I'm not inflicting on your rights, at the end of the day, it's not my call.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm right there with you.
Truth. Okay, that was my last one. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I don't know that I've got anything else either. I'm sure I'll come up with something as soon as I get off. But Griff, do you have anything else?
Nope, I think we're gonna end this up.
Yeah,
I don't know any of our
early.
stuff, but we'll end it a little early. I mean, with three of us, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, it is. It's I mean, we still took up a whole sacrament session, basically.
Woohoo! Go us!
But follow us on Instagram and Facebook at kinguglycrew.com. kinguglycrew.wordpress.com is the website. I still haven't got the website for
You're
merch
really
yet.
good at letting Griff moderate.
I know.
I
He
would-
said he said he was going to let me do it because his computer kept breaking,
Yeah, go
Oh.
for
and
it.
he said he didn't
Okay.
remember it either. He's like, I don't
Gotcha.
remember any of that stuff.
I don't remember any of this stuff, and to be honest, my computer is glitching out. Like I'm getting half the thing we've been talking about.
so yeah. I mean, other than that, I guess Griff can lead us out.
All right, well, everyone stay ugly,
Stay ugly.
Stay ugly.
especially
All right.
Sari.
Always.